What's up there, cucks? You know what I'm saying? It's the hater once again, back for the most exciting night of wrestling of the week, motherfuckers. The Wednesday Night Wars. The real battle for brand supremacy there, fuckers. You know what I'm saying? It's a good night. You don't want to miss it. But before I start, I'd like to talk about one hater of the hater. Pardon me. Some jabron named Laser Sauce Retro Archives left a negative comment on one of my videos. Now, as a fair and impartial individual, I welcome negative comments, you know? That's totally fine. I got nothing against Laser Sauce Retro Archives, but before I destroy him completely right now, I will tell him I do appreciate his comment, even though it's negative. Now, the issue that I have with this nerd is that his comment, which I'm gonna read actually, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna read it, because his comment is just negative for no reason whatsoever. Now, my channel, the haters channel, motherfuckers, is, you know, I don't want to say it's an act because I don't say anything that I don't believe. I say it like it is, but it is for entertainment purposes, right? Like, I'm saying these things to get people laughing and to get people wondering about what they like. And maybe here and there's a lesson about how to be a bit more charismatic, how to bang a broad or two, these kind of things, right? Whereas this guy's comment was just a negative comment. And to my mistake, when I replied to it, I made a few careless typos, which is weird, but I made a few careless typos that made my response not seem as good. So I'm gonna just say something to you right now, Laser Sauce Retro Archives. I hope you listen. Here's the thing, man. Why you gotta go after me, man? What have I done to you, you know? You come after me and my 121 subs, right? You know, I don't come after you and your, whatever, 450 subs, right? No, and I don't come after you not just because you have more subs than I do, because I couldn't give a rat's ass if you have more subs than I do. And by the way, fucker, I have 124 right now. You understand what I'm saying? So we keep climbing up. That's 3 more subs than I had 15 hours ago when you posted that bullshit comment. Now, my issue with this comment specifically is that you decide to go after me and you say that my channel sucks like your green poo the other day. Now, I don't know if you talked to your green poo or you did a survey or something that made you realize that your green poo in fact sucks. You know, furthermore, why are you pooping green? You know what I'm saying? What are you, some kind of sort of vegan? Or perhaps you're an infant, a baby, right? And what I'm saying to you is this. I have 121 or 124 subs now, motherfucker, and I've been doing this for about a month. You know, I'm actually very impressed with myself, and I'm very proud of each and every one of my 124 motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you've been doing it for 8 months, and you have 450 subscribers, or something along those lines, 474, I think it was. And I bet you it's going to stay at 474, despite any kind of attempts that you do, because I got news for you, pal. Nobody wants to see someone play a video game made in 1987. Nobody cares. You understand what I'm saying? You probably thought when you started your channel, oh, I'm going to blow up. People are really going to enjoy me playing like Gran Turismo 1 on my PS1. No one cared. That's the news right there. You can have 5,000 subscribers for all I care. Your videos get like 8 views, and there's like, if you're lucky, there's like 1 comment there. So that's my issue with you. You should not throw stones if you live in a glass house, kid. You understand what I'm saying to you right now? That's all there is to it, you know? I don't have any ill feelings towards you. Perhaps we can be friends one day if you subscribe today to the hater and you join the revolution that is happening right before your very eyes. Put down the controller, stop picking dragons and cars to race and fight and do all that stupid crap that you're doing. Forget that. You know, retro video games are cool and everything, but nobody wants to see you playing them. The reality is this. What will make you successful is if you start doing some commentary on the games, and if you're a fun guy, and if you're someone that's entertaining. Now, you can hang your hat on your 450 whatever subscribers, but like I said, you know, the views don't lie. You post a video every once in a while, it gets like 8 to 10 views. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas I have 122 subscribers, and right here in my video, my 25 reasons why AEW sucks, which is a video that you decided to chime in on, has right now, it looks like it has 134 views, and that's because I haven't clicked it yet. If we really look, 170 views, motherfucker. There we go. 170 views. So that's more views than I have subscribers. whereas your views are fewer than you have subscribers. Now, I don't want to sound petty and vindictive, because I'm not. You know, this is all for fun. Don't take it too personally, Laser Archives. You understand what I'm saying? But you took the first shot and you decided to talk shit about me, and here you are, bitch. That's what you get. You understand me? Now, anyways, I hope you subscribe one day and we can be friends. You can be subscriber 125 for all I care, you know? We're all friends here in the Hater channel. But now that we got that garbage out of the way, let's get to this episode of AEW. All right? I'm going to start by just saying that this episode actually was not that bad. I'm going to be honest. I'm always honest. I'm not going to sit here. Like, I started watching the show and I started with this mindset of, oh, let's pick out all the negative things, you know? And I'm like, that's not really fair, right? So immediately, first 1 minute, I switched to being objective, which is what I like to do, because then I can give you guys pure thoughts and good commentary. So, but let's not get excited, fuckers. Just because it's not that bad doesn't mean it was a great show by any stretch of the imagination. Or as Jericho would say, by any stretch of the imagination. Anyways, first match was the first ever singles match between Nick Jackson and Rey Fenix. Now, otherwise known as not Jeff Hardy, or maybe it was Matt Jackson. I always confuse them. Whatever. Blonde Jackson versus Phoenix. Otherwise known as not Jeff Hardy versus not Rey Mysterio, motherfuckers. This guy, Nick Jackson, needs to lose 10 pounds and then gain 20 pounds of muscle to be even legit. Rey Fenix is exactly like Rey Mysterio. He looks just like him. He has the tattoos and a similar like mask structure, and his eyes are kind of similar. And except when Rey Mysterio was in his prime, yeah, even now, Rey Mysterio was always in great shape. That's what I always loved about Rey Mysterio. He didn't have to be in great shape because, you know, he was being like Marco Stunt, basically. Like, he was a small guy beating big guys here and there because he's awesome. But the facts are what they are. Rey Mysterio went out of his way to look jacked, so that when he wrestled, people got interested in him. There's an appreciation that comes with hard work and dedication, and Rey Mysterio clearly did that. He did not need to be, like, he just looked jacked as shit always. He didn't need to look like that to do a springboard Hurricane Rana, you know? But yet, here we are. He did look like that. Fuckies! So anyways, let's slow it down a bit. I got a little too excited about Rey Mysterio there. Let's get to the meat and bones of this match. The match was horrible. I did not like it at all. And the reason I didn't like it is because it was this stupid spot fest. It belongs more in a circus than it does in a wrestling ring. Now, I will say that both the wrestlers are very, very athletic, and they did a pretty good job. There was a few botches, but that's understandable because they're doing these like 10 times springboard things, like the Rey Fenix one, where he's like, just like Humberto Carrillo, where they just bounce on the rope like 6 times for no reason, when just one bounce would suffice. You know, the match ended with, Phoenix beating not Jeff Hardy with like essentially a Metal League driver. You understand what I'm saying? Another big criticism of this match was a usual criticism of Young Bucks matches, and that is the over-reliance on spot moves and the underselling of what should be finishing moves, right? These guys did like 17 RKOs, or cutters, whatever you want to call them, and one of them even did like, a Canadian Destroyer, and they no-sold this, but then he does like a Metal League driver, and he pins him, you know? After the match, Jeff Hardy tried to shake hands with Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio did a little slow clap and left. Didn't shake his hand, which I liked, because at first I thought he was gonna like walk away and then turn around and like hug him or something weird like that. But no, it's good that like there has to be a wrestler that is not enticed by this let's hug and let's hold hands nonsense. Someone that's a semblance of a serious wrestler. So I did enjoy that. Next, we had Shida versus Britt Baker. I missed the majority of this match. I was watching this relatively live. I left a few minutes to skip the commercials on my DVR, but so it wasn't that late or anything. But for some reason, I started passing out. I couldn't understand why. I fell asleep for like a good 15-20 minutes, so I had to hit the rewind on that bitch to see what the hell happened. These girls put me to sleep. I thought, of course, that Britt Baker was going to win because who in the blue hell is Hikaru Shida, right? Even though a few weeks ago I said, if you want Hikaru Shida to be over, present her to me. I don't know if they did because I missed most of the match, but what I did see was that Hikaru Shida hit like a Shining Wizard type knee and pinned Britt Baker. And then people are like, oh, like JR was like, oh, the rankings come out on Friday night, so like we'll see where Hikaru Shida ranks. Maybe she'll have a rematch with Riho. And I'm just like, dude, like, no. How about establish one or two or three of the females as legitimate wrestlers? And as I'm going here through some comments that people left me, Gary Anderson said, you missed one hot chick. Penelope Ford. Now I have to agree, motherfuckers. Penelope Ford is hot. She's one of the hotter, definitely the hottest girl after Brandy maybe on AEW, but one of the hottest girls in wrestling, period, I have to say. The one that I think is the hottest is the girl from NWA. What's her, Camille, I think her name is. I only watched one episode. I don't know why. I should definitely like watch. Maybe I'll watch that after I'm finished with this video because the episode I watched, I thought was amazing. So, and apparently Jim Cornette is not fired for making like a racist joke about Ethiopians and fried chicken or something, which I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I think it's whatever. You know, it's obviously a joke. Let's not fire everyone who makes a bad joke, guys. Come on. So there you go. You know, that's how that match went down. I barely noticed that it happened. I couldn't care less. Next up, we have either Excalibur or JR or both of them, or maybe Tony Schiavone, talking about how we're going to find out more about the Dark Order because they're mysterious, right? And they showed this video. It was actually kind of heartbreaking, man. It shows this like fat neckbeard guy just in like a what appeared to be a subway, and he's just walking around and he drops his glasses, and these two like they look, I thought it was fucking Pride and Powerful or whatever, but these two LAX guys basically, I could have sworn it was the LAX guys, but it was basically these two like bigger dudes that like would probably whoop his ass. They like kind of like bully him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and like it was really heartbreaking because it was like not because he was being bullied, because I personally believe that bullying is a very important part of someone's childhood and upbringing. So not that, but it was heartbreaking because it's like, this is what happens if you're like a neckbeard. People just walk right through you, you know? Yeah, you should listen a little bit, man. You should listen to what I'm saying. Start by not liking things like the Young Bucks, and then we'll talk later. Yeah? So then in the vignette, it shows this guy. He sits down in the metro. In the metro, there's like this like, it was like one of those like cultish presentations where the guy's like, you know, you're a loser, but we'll make you feel comfortable and like we'll be your friends. Join the Dark Order. This would have been nice if it didn't end with join the Dark Order. Are you fucking kidding me? That's not how you get people. Like, who would do that? Like realistically, who would do that? Like, one of the, like, when they had the Wyatt family, one of the premises was that they were like obviously a cult, but Bray Wyatt was supposed to be this charismatic cult leader who was very vague. You know, he didn't say like join like the Union of Evil, you know what I'm saying? He just said like, all right, I'm here, Sister Abigail watches over us, like a bunch of vague shit. So this was kind of like, I actually appreciated it because it seems like there's going to be a story involved with this, but why would anyone join something called the Dark Order? You know what I mean? That's kind of like going to the bank and someone's like, hey, you want to sign up for an account? We call this the we steal money from you account. And you'd be like, oh yeah, I need an account. Let's sign me up for that. You know, that was kind of dumb. And, you know, honestly, it was an inexcusable level of dumb. So I did not enjoy that. When I yell, I sometimes lose my voice. I'm starting to learn. You know what I mean? It's probably also because I quit smoking and like I'm going through that, like the throat is readjusting. You understand me? After that, we had the Jobber Battle Royal. Now this merits a few moments to explain what it is. So the Jobber Battle Royal, the Dynamite Dozen. Oh my God, can you think of a worse name? The Dynamite Dozen. You know, like I remember one time when Big Show and Billy Gunn, who I'm going to talk about in a second, motherfuckers, when they were trying to pick like a tag name, and like Billy Gunn or Big Show, one of them goes to Vince McMahon in the back, and he's like, "How about like we call ourselves the Shoguns?" And then Vince McMahon's like, "Look, I don't have time for this nonsense. You know, I don't care if you guys call yourselves Double Trouble, poop on a stick, right?" And then like Vince McMahon walks away, and then like Big Show's like, "Double Trouble, I like that. This is right on that level of nomenclature." Dynamite Dozen, Double Trouble, same shit. So the premise of this is that it's going to be a 12-man over-the-top battle royal, but there will be 2 winners. And the problem with that is, of course, that this has to continue now. Next week, those 2 winners will have a match, and the winner gets this like a diamond ring or something. I'm just thinking to myself, what the fuck? Like, that's so dumb. The diamond ring? How about winner gets a #1 contender shot down the line? Or perhaps winner gets entered into, you know, gets like a bye in the, I don't know, or like a double bye or something in the mid-card title tournament that they will inevitably have. Who the hell cares about a diamond ring? You know, like MJF is supposed to be this like rich guy, right? Who's wearing Burberry scarves and is well dressed, and like not necessarily a rich guy, but like someone like no one there's supposed to be poor, right? People like Jimmy Havoc have no business wanting diamond rings. Doesn't fit their character at all. Adam Page is like a cowboy type, so why the hell would he even want a diamond ring? It makes no sense, right? So anyways, the match happened. It was like All of them were jobbers. As soon as MJF came out, it was obvious that he was going to be one of the winners. Like, this guy's obviously getting a push. He's not going to lose to, like, fucking Darby Allin or, like, Kip Sabian or whatever, right? So the match starts. Early on in the match, there's a spot where Sonny Kiss goes off the ropes and Billy Gunn is waiting for him to, like, do a move or something. Sonny Kiss stops, turns around, and starts shaking his ass. Starts twerking in front of Billy Gunn, right? One of the announcers says, you remember what they called Billy Gunn? Right, because they called Billy Gunn Mr. Ass. Apparently, Billy Gunn is also gay, and now he wants, like, Sonny Kiss's ass, according to, like, one of the announcers, right? But no, that's not what Billy Gunn wanted at all. Billy Gunn wanted to have essentially a twerk off. So he turns around to twerk in the middle of a match, motherfuckers. Billy Gunn turns around to twerk in the middle of a match, and Sonny Kiss gets eliminated by MJF. And Billy Gunn is, like, upset at this for some reason. Like MJF ruined his twerking opportunity. I'm just like, you should be happy that there's one fewer opponent to worry about, but no, he's upset. So he's like, whatever, right? They have a little, like, showdown, and that materializes into nothing, right? Billy Gunn looks, by the way, like $1 million, man. This guy's like in his 50s. He like again, I don't want to say steroids are good, but this guy looks like a monster, man. He looks like as good as he did when he was in his 30s. So big fan of Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn should get a push, you know? Like, I don't know why Goldust is getting the push that Billy Gunn clearly deserves. I mean, of course I know why, but you understand what I'm saying, right? So anyways, the match continues. There's a moment between Billy Gunn had another moment like this. Who did he? Oh, first of all, what's his face? Jimmy Havoc gets eliminated by Billy Gunn, and he comes back with a staple gun and pretends to staple everyone. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's clearly fake. You can tell it's fake, and they have this clicking sound that I don't know how they probably just added from like backstage. They add like a clicking sound to kind of sell that the staple gun is doing something. Obviously, it's not doing anything. You know, that's just foolish. Plus, a staple gun wouldn't hurt as much as a punch to the face. So there you go. That doesn't make any sense. People like are losing their minds. Like, oh my god, this is crazy. Later on in the match, I remember now. Later on in the match, Orange Cassidy does the Orange Cassidy spot. Now, I am tired of this. One time it was fun. I've been saying this for weeks. One time it was funny, and every other time it's just completely played out and stupid. And the fans lose their minds over this. So he starts doing the Orange Cassidy yes kicks, right? And Billy Gunn is like obviously like just standing there, and MJF just throws Orange Cassidy out. Billy Gunn looks at MJF and says, that's 2 strikes, right? Because for the second time in the match now, MJF ruined a fun moment for Billy Gunn. So Billy Gunn, as he says 2 strikes, MJF pushes him. Billy Gunn kicks him in the gut, hits the Famouser. That was fantastic. After seeing people like Dolph Ziggler and even Velveteen Dream kind of botch the Famouser, right? It's good to see Billy Gunn do it. It just feels great. So he does that, right? And and then he tries to throw MJF over. MJF like holds onto the ropes. He's like sitting on the apron, and he's pretending that he's like barely hanging on. He's sitting on the apron. He's not Shawn Michaels, who was actually hanging, and it looked interesting. It looked like, oh, can he hang on? MJF is just sitting, like he's sitting his ass on the apron, and he's like, oh, well, hang on. Of course you're gonna hang on, right? So then Billy Gunn tries to go and eliminate him. Wardlow comes out, stares down Billy Gunn. There's enough of a distraction by Wardlow. MJF kind of like does a hangman type move on Billy Gunn, who turns around and gets the buckshot lariat from Adam Page, who then throws him out. So Billy Gunn is eliminated. That was a big mistake in my opinion. Eventually, the last also MJF like doesn't get back in the ring. He's outside, and now it's like Chuck Taylor, what's his face, Kip Sabian, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, motherfuckers, and Adam Page. And as the match progresses, Kip Sabian, with help from Penelope Ford, who we already talked about how she's hot, eliminates Chuck Taylor, gives Penelope Ford a kiss, turns around, gets eliminated by Jungle Boy with like a Hurricane Rana on the apron type of move, right? Jungle Boy comes in and starts wrestling with Adam Page. Now, here's the problem, right? When there were 4 people in the ring and MJF on the outside, the announcers were like, it seems like this is the final 4. So if you're going to sell that to me, right? If you're going to let me believe, like the fan is supposed to forget about MJF, right? So therefore, the wrestlers are supposed to forget about MJF. That's supposed to be kind of a surprise. So you have Adam Page and Jungle Boy Jack Perry in the ring. Why are they still wrestling? I thought that 2 people get to win this match. So the only reason that these 2 guys would keep wrestling and try to eliminate each other is if they knew that there was someone else on the outside, MJF. And knowing this, Jungle Boy, who was on the apron right where MJF has been the whole time, doesn't even watch out for him. He just waits there like an idiot on the apron until MJF pulls him down, gets back in the ring, and declares himself the winner. Adam Page attacks MJF for no reason. So I guess because they're friends with Cody, I don't know, right? So he attacks MJF, and they have this moment like Wardlow wants to beat him up, and then he was like, no, we're not going to fuck him up yet. So that was, like, the match itself wasn't completely horrible, except for, like, that big inconsistency in the end, where the last two wrestlers, thinking that they were the last two wrestlers, kept wrestling. That makes sense if the match has one winner, where the guy's like, oh, shit, it's just me and Jungle Boy. I got to eliminate him to win the match. But in this case, they should have thought, oh, good, we both won. And that would have worked just fine, too. Like, they both celebrate, they hug it out, they turn around, they each go to the turnbuckles or something to, like, celebrate with the crowd, and then MJF comes and throws out Jungle Boy, which would have actually been nice. It would have actually made sense to me, because that would have been something that, like, oh, like, he really took it from Jungle Boy, who, like, had his guard down and everything, you know? It was what it was. Next, Jericho comes out with, with Jack Swagger, and announces that next week he's going to have the celebration of Le Champion or whatever, right? So SCU comes out. They bait Jericho into a title match next week. It was goofy as shit because Scorpio Sky's like, I don't deserve a title match. Jericho's like, you don't deserve it? Huh? Are you afraid to wrestle Jericho for the AEW title? Well, guess what, pal? It's going to be like a title match anyways. So basically, he Bugs Bunnied him, you know, like when Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck are like arguing each other, and then Daffy Duck's like, it's Wabbit season. Bugs Bunny's like, it's Duck season, and they keep going at it until Bugs Bunny says, it's Wabbit season. And then Daffy Duck's like, it's Duck season, shoot! And then Elmer Fudd shoots Daffy Duck. Now, this is something that could be entertaining to a child, and I'm sure it was for most of us. But this is not something that's entertaining to a grown man or a grown woman watching this, motherfucks, right? And you can't simultaneously pander to the children and then drop, like, F-bombs and S-bombs. And by F-bomb and S-bomb, I mean fuck and shit. You understand me? So there you go. That happened. After Jericho's goated, he lightly taps Scorpio Sky in the head with a mic, just to sell that he hit him. He could have hit him a little harder. Scorpio Sky sells it like he just got hit by a cannon. The other two SCU guys go after Jericho and Jack Swagger, and they start fighting. The rest of the Inner Circle comes out, and they beat the shit out of SCU. Then Michael Nakazawa and Brandon Cutler come out for no reason whatsoever, because they get eliminated from the equation immediately by Jericho and Sammy Guevara, I think. Or maybe Jericho and Swagger, who cares, right? Then after that, Marco Stunt comes out. Now, during the commercials, I was skipping the commercials, but during the commercials, they have those, like, where they show two screens of commercials and what's happening in AEW, right? And there was a segment where Jericho and Swagger were walking to the ring, and Jericho was, like, cutting promos, talking shit to people, but you couldn't hear it because you had to hear the commercials, right? And one of the people that he was talking smack to was Marco Stunt. So I guess that explains why Marco Stunt is out. Maybe Jericho called him like a small dude or something, right? He comes out, gets clotheslined immediately by Jericho. It was great. That's exactly the purpose that Marco Stunt should serve. A guy who's like overzealous and just gets destroyed by superior athletes. Then Jungle Boy comes out. He gets a pretty good pop, actually. He does like one move on Jericho, and Jericho clotheslines him too. Luchasaurus comes out. Everyone leaves except for Jack Swagger. Luchasaurus and Jack Swagger have like a stare down. Jack Swagger walks away. I dig it. I would like to see Luchasaurus versus Jack Swagger, but I would like to see Luchasaurus lose immediately and take off his mask so we can actually see something awesome from this guy who I think actually has a lot of potential. He can do like high kicks. He can do a standing moonsault. He's obviously a strong guy. It is what it is. Right, then we have another commercial break. There was a lot of commercial breaks in this show, fuckers. So after the commercial break comes back, while we're still in commercial with the two screens, Peter Avalon comes out, cutting a promo, probably talking shit about the town they're in. He comes in there, he says the show is back on. He says, like, I'm gonna like wipe the floor with you, or I'm gonna make like oil out of you, you fossil, right, whatever. Match starts, Luchasaurus beats his ass, gets him up for a tombstone and hits his move, which I believe they once called the Tombstone Age, motherfuckers. It's basically like a tombstone, except he like flattens the guy out. He pinned him with just like by putting his arm on him. 1, 2, 3. He celebrates with the Jurassic Express. There was really no purpose for this match, but whatever. A squash match here and there is fine. What else? Then we had what I thought was actually going to be a fantastic match. We had Out and Proud, or Pride and Powerful, whatever the fuck they're called, versus Private Party. Apparently, they tell us that some independent wrestler called Matt Travis passed away in a motorcycling accident, and that's actually very sad. I feel horrible that people just die in accidents. It's just a horrible thing to happen. So Hopefully, his family's doing well. Not that I'm going to eulogize him. I don't know who the fuck he is, but, you know, it's a tragedy. It sucks. You know, it sucks when young people die. So, anyways, the match happens, and there was this incredible botch during the match. At some point, Isaiah Cassidy does like a code red type move from the apron. So he like flips. It's like a destroyer, except it's more like a power bomb. And he's pinning Ortiz, right? And the referee, he positions himself so his leg is like almost out of the ring. This was the cue that fucking Santana missed to pull him, right? So the ref counts to 2, and then he stops counting because the match would otherwise end, you know? And then he like looks outside. He's like, "What are you doing?" And then JR's like, "What the hell's going on?" Right? And then one of them is like, "Oh, I think he grabbed his foot." And like it was off camera, but I don't think he grabbed anything because the crowd was like, "What the hell?" You know, plus even if he touched them, that's not how it works. You're supposed to prevent him, the referee, from counting. You know, by pulling him so he doesn't count, or by hitting him, or any kind of thing like that, right? You can't just touch him. Oh, the referee stops counting because he got touched. Makes no sense. So at this point, I assumed the whole time that Out and Proud was going to be the winners. But no, what happens is at a certain point, they the Private Party, which is a great tag team insofar as tag teams in AEW go, they hit the Gin and Juice, which is a top rope Hurricane Rana into a cutter, and they pin Ortiz, I believe it was. That was great. Then after the match, JR proves once again that he doesn't give a rat's ass about AEW, and he says, Isaiah Kennedy and Mark Quinn, they win. And I'm like, yo, I've seen Isaiah Cassidy wrestle like 3 times, and I already memorized his name as Isaiah Cassidy. You know, JR works for the company and calls him Isaiah Kennedy. You understand what I'm saying, motherfuckers? It's like when Mike Adamle was signed by like WWE and he was on Raw. And while he was on Raw, he would like make all these like verbal botches. Like he called Jeff Hardy Jeff Harvey. And people were like, fire this guy immediately. He doesn't understand wrestling. But JR is like too established for that to happen. But you understand what I'm saying. So that match happened. Apparently, like they reveal that Private Party is number 5 in the rankings. And I don't know why they're number 5. I guess because they lost at Dark Order. But now they beat the number 2 team. So where the fuck do they stand? If you, as far as I'm concerned, if you beat the number 2 team, you become team number 2, right? Or team number 1, perhaps, depending on who team number 1 is. I'm sure it's the Young Bucks somehow. But, you know, I don't know if it's like, if there's champion, number 1, number 2, or if it's champion, then number 2. Because I don't think there's any tag team that should be ranked higher than Out and Proud beyond the champions who won the championship, right? The only argument you could make is that, like, all right, it's Pentagon and what's his face, right? But they lost. They just keep losing left and right. So I'm not really on board with that one, motherfuckers. Then we have kind of like a preview of what's happening next week. This was important, and here's why it was important. They explained that next week Cody Rhodes returns, and at that moment I realized why this episode has not been complete garbage. Because Cody Rhodes is not there, motherfuckers. That's why. I completely forgot that he exists, and they're like, oh, he's coming back next week. I'm like, great, we can have at least one good episode. Then they have this thing where Kenny Omega is ironically, remember what I said about irony, fuckers, ironically doing like a bench press, and you can't see the plates. So he's like, oh, I can't do it, and it's like 2 5-pound plates. And then afterwards, he cuts a promo saying that like he attributes like his, you know, loss of direction, loss of focus to losing to Pac. Right? And for some reason, this turns into like a vendetta against Pac. He's like, Pac, you took everything from me. No, fam, you just had a match and Pac beat you. And that was after Jericho beat you. And then beyond that, you won like 7 matches in a row and then Moxley beat you. But the way he's telling the story is that because Pac beat him, right, that's why he lost to John Moxley, which is ridiculous. So anyways, then Michael Nakazawa, who's spotting him, I think it was Michael Nakazawa, puts another plate on one of the sides, and Kenny Omega pretends to barely be able to do it. It's ridiculous. What's the point? That whole idea is like, oh, Kenny Omega is actually strong and he can do it. Isn't it funny that he's doing less than he obviously can? No, motherfuckers, it's not funny. It's cringy and it's dumb. So anyways, after that, we had Moxley versus, what's his face? Darby Allin, right? Now this match, I'm going to give props where props are deserved. Darby Allin is a hell of an athlete, man. This guy is quick. And I appreciate that. And he wrestles the way someone his size should wrestle. You know, if you're gonna beat Darby Allin's size, you gotta do this like type of high risk, like I don't give a shit what happens to me kind of stuff. So at some point, Moxley puts him in a body bag. The referee releases Darby Allin from the body bag. Darby Allin mounts a comeback, and he goes for the coffin drop. Dean Ambrose just pivots his body and catches him in like a rear naked choke type situation. Thinking to myself, that's weird. But anyways, he did it. And after that, they go to the top rope where Jon Moxley hits like a paradigm shift from the top rope and pins Darby Allin 1, 2, 3. Decent match. Nothing to kill yourself over because none of these guys have any direction. Like, I thought this was going to be a feud. You know, when Darby Allin came and called out Dean Ambrose, I figured like, all right, you know, this is going to set up some sort of like long-term feud, not just another throwaway match next week. What am I supposed to expect from these guys 2 weeks from now? You know, just fighting some other guy? Well, what's next? Jon Moxley versus Jimmy Havoc? Come on, get the fuck out of here. But anyways, fuckers, overall, this show was all right. I'm not going to say it sucked. It was decent. Again, I forgot to record NXT because I'm recording Survivor, motherfuckers. If you haven't watched Survivor, watch Survivor. Great show. So, yeah. But I'll probably read the NXT results and maybe make a little video, or I'll watch it tomorrow. One of the two. So don't hold your breath. And, yeah. I love all you guys, including whatever Laserdisc, whatever the fuck his name was. I'm gonna call him Laserdisc. So Laserdisc, I hope you hear this, and yeah, I hope you become a fan, motherfucker, because we're gonna grow. You know. So there you go. No hard feelings to any of y'all. But with that being said, go fuck yourselves, alright, motherfuckers.